sometimes there are things that we read in the Torah that leaves us scratching our head, and the only thing we can say is, Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 1, the Torah portion of Vayetzi, which means, and he went out. So now we are picking up on the story of Yaakov as he goes into his personal adventures. We began with Bereshit, Genesis chapter 28 and verse 10, which says, Yaakov went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. So Yaakov is leaving Beersheba, the well of the oath, or the well of the oath of the seven, and he's headed toward Haran, where he is going to encounter the very deceitful, the very controlling, the very manipulating, and the very greedy Uncle Laban. Now his head may be full of excitement, full of thoughts about going and finding a wife, adventure, see how this thing's going to turn out. But he also has to have a sense of confusion and maybe some frustration. And this is where I scratch my head and go, Consider this. Abraham refused to allow his son Yitzhak to go back to Haran to find his wife. He sent a messenger instead. And then further, when Yahweh told Abraham that Yitzhak was to receive his blessing and that he would be the one in whom his name would be called and that he would continue the lineage of the seed, he sent Ishmael away because Ishmael could compete with that claim. Now, when we come to Yaakov, the tables are turned. Yaakov has received his father's blessing. He carries the birthright, but he's being sent away while Esau, the competitor, is allowed to remain in the land of inheritance. Where Yitzhak was told, you can't go, or Abraham was told he couldn't go, Yitzhak is intentionally sending Yaakov over there. How is it that Yitzhak couldn't go to Haran, but Yaakov has to go to Haran? Leaves one scratching their head and going, why is that? I want to explore some answers, possible answers to that question, and I don't think I'll get through all of these, so it may take a day or two. Let's see what happens here. So the first possible answer I have to this head scratcher is to ask the question, is there some kind of character difference between father and son that allows Yaakov to prevail where his father Yitzhak would have not been even allowed to try? Now, when we look at the overall scheme of things, we might think that Yitzhak was superior, being the father to his son Yaakov. And in a lot of ways, maybe we could justify that. But it's not really a comparison of who is superior here. We're talking about personal character and personal quality. Consider this thought. Yitzhak, Isaac, when he was designated to be the carrier of the lineage, he is the one in whom Abraham's lineage and seed is to continue. He is to receive the father's Bekorah, the double portion firstborn blessing. When these things are established, Ishmael, the only legitimate competitor for that, is sent away. So Yitzhak has lived the majority of his life outside of the influence or confrontation opportunities with Ishmael. That then allows him to develop differently. That opposition, that struggle has not been in his face. Yaakov, on the other hand, in my estimation, and the way I've calculated this, a little different than Rashi's calculations, I estimate that Yaakov is about 88 years old at this point. And then there's a long list of facts and figures to look there. But he's in his 80s. That being the probable opportunity then is that he has likewise found Esau in his face for over 80 years. He has had to prevail. He has had to overcome. He has taken the insults. He's taken the sideways glances, the comparisons of Esau holding out his chest and roaring. He's like a man and pounding on himself and flexing his muscles and exhibiting his hairy physique as if I am the king of the world. Well, Yaakov was just not cut out of that cloth. He is a different kind of man. He is more spiritually astute. He is more studious. He is a shepherd. He is focused. He is shrewd. He is devising. He understands things that Esau doesn't even take time to think about. But he's had to hold his own ground and stand on his own 2 feet against a very intimidating foe. Yitzhak didn't have that grooming, if you will. Therefore, if Yitzhak had gone and faced Lavan and Bethuel in order to get Rivkah and had to work for her once he got there, it may not have turned out as well. I don't know that Yitzhak could have stood that or would have stood that. While Yaakov struggled and had to persevere and overcome and endure, he had the interior metal to be able to do that. Now, over the course of the last 3+ years on 10-Minute Torah, you may have heard me mention at times personal struggles through pastoral and ministry experiences, dealing with hard-nosed individuals or those that were oppressive, for spiritual battles, etc. Sometimes preachers, teachers, we get together and we rehearse our quote-unquote our war stories, and we talk about the things that we've fought through and prayed through and endured, experienced. And on this side of things, we can laugh about it a bit. But that's not to say that we are not aware of the struggles that you have gone through. Many of you in this audience, you could tell your own war stories of how you fought demons and people and situations and oppressions, personal struggles, and you've overcome. Let's also be aware, though, that there are the deceitful and the greedy and the controlling and the manipulating of individuals that are yet in front of us. There are still battles that have to be faced. But the reason that you face what you face, the reason that I am given this particular struggles that I am given, is because Yah sees the interior metal, the interior ability, the qualities and the characteristics that have been developed through previous encounters that prepare us for what is ahead. The overall goal here is to groom and to shape and to mature and to produce a certain quality of individual that is capable at the end of the run to lay hold of the prize, the destiny, the destination, the calling, the ultimate gifting that the Father has destined for us, and that we can claim it for our own. Rav Shaul said at the end of his life that there is now laid up for me the crown of life. That was not a crown easily obtained. It's not something that's just handed out casually. It takes qualities. It takes the development of personality and perseverance. So while we have the victories in the past and even defeats, they're all shaping us for what is ahead, where we will also, like Yaakov, persevere, overcome, obtain the prize, and defeat our adversaries. Armor up. Go get him. You can do this today, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, shalom.